We're on. We're live.
We are live.
Sledaddicz is brought to you by Team Vincent Motorsports, Bergstrom Carbides, Ledger Performance, Ultimax Belts, Stud Boy Studs, and Radio World. Jesse, what's going on, my man? How
What
you
is
doing?
going on, buddy? I'm surviving med school. How about you?
Are you surviving? Are you thriving, or are you surviving?
Um, I'm surviving. I think thriving is pretty impossible in medical school. It's like go, 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 and that's kind of my personality. So I jive with it at the same time doing medical school, getting Sled Addicts back up and running for the 2025 season. Always a lot on my plate.
Cool. So you've had a busy summer. Obviously, everybody knows that you've been at it with med school now for the last couple of years, and I guess you're just sort of finishing up the summer. How's the summer?
The summer was non-existent because in medical school we don't get summers. So I worked I worked right through the summer. I did have a 2 week period where I was doing like an online elective, so I was able to come back to Toronto and spend some time out on the boat, which was nice.
Nice.
That's my favorite thing to
It's
do in the summer is do some water skiing and get out on the boat. But yeah, other than that, kind of I'm in my clinical years, so I'm like in the hospital every day. And then I come home and I study. So it's student plus working and not getting paid.
nice. Well, we all know it'll be worth it in the end. So keep up the good work, and
Hopefully.
it's good to see you. It's good to have you back. We kind of have our, we've been at this now 4 or 5 years, and we kind of have our hiatus during the summer. It's kind of, some time apart. We're not focused on sleds, right? And we're kind of doing our own thing. So it's always nice to come back together this time of year. And we're excited. Last year was pretty wild. A lot of stuff happened for us last year.
For
I think
sure.
it was despite I think the challenges that we had with winter, I still personally had an amazing riding season. I know you weren't around as much, obviously, but I certainly did what I could to put on the miles, and I'm excited, man. It's that time of year, and we're ready to go.
Absolutely. I think this is number 5 for us, the fifth
Yeah,
season this year. Yeah.
yeah, it's fifth season for
Crazy.
us.
Yeah. Starting in the height of COVID to where we are now. It's been quite the journey.
So you did get a chance to ride a few times last year. So talk to me, just sort of wrapping up last year. You went all the way up to Long Lac at the end of the year. Just give me some of the highlights from last year. What were some of those highlights for you?
Yeah, I think last season, listen, no one is sugarcoating it at the end of the day. Last season was not a good season for snowmobiling in general.
Hmm.
But as always, as sled addicts, we make the most of it. And even though I really only came home to ride in December for a weekend in January, and then at the beginning of April, I still managed to put on 4,000K.
Yeah.
So I was very satisfied. I loved riding in Vallon. We got to experience a new area that I'd never been, so that was super cool.
Totally. Yeah.
Met some new people there. Frank, who's going to be joining us this year in Cochrane, super awesome guy. January we rode in Cochrane, which is kind of was nice to be back. It's very weird to not be there in December last year.
Hmm.
But no, we had a good time there. And then for me, I would say my highlight of last season was my time in Long Lac. I was dying to find a place to ride. Begin first week of April, and Cochrane was done, and most places were pretty done. Even like Vallon was starting to close down.
Yeah.
And I had reached out to people at the Long Lac Club, and they told us to come up, and I did. And these guys made us feel like members of the family. Like I was over for dinner some of the nights. We had a person that took us riding every day, whether it was the club president's dad, or their friend. We were taken care of, and it was a super cool area of Ontario that I have never been. So for those that don't know, it's really just west of Hearst on the A Trail. So you go about, I think it's just over 200K from Hearst, and you're in Long Lac. And it's an area that it doesn't get a lot of traffic most years. The trails are in great conditions, and they have like infinite amount of backcountry logging roads. Like you think of
Hmm.
Hearst, there's some backcountry riding in Hearst that we've done. Long Lac is like even more. Like it's literally unlimited. You can go for as long as you want. Really, the limiting factor becomes how much fuel do you have? Can you make it home?
And that's something for us, I think. Kenny has sort of steered us down that path, right, in the last couple of years, and something that we love. those back roads when they've got tons of snow on them. You can just go down them for miles and miles and miles, and it's a lot of fun. Perhaps maybe when trails aren't ready, ready to go yet or in pristine condition, it's a great option, right?
Absolutely.
Cool. Well, that's great, man. Um, last year I think for me personally, I did get a lot of miles on still. I think I was just north of 8,000 kilometers last year between the two sleds. I gotta say, yeah, I gotta say, Gaspe for sure was probably the highlight for me. I think that's just, how long we've been talking about Gaspe. I've been talking about it for 10 years.
Yeah, we've been
Never been
talking
there.
about it, and then of course the year you do it is the year I'm not there. But
Right.
I forgive you because we're gonna make it up this winter. Plan
That's
is
right.
in February. So I like tried to arrange my third year medical school schedule so I could get a 2 week block for vacation from February 15th till March 1st, and we're doing Gaspe. That's
Yeah.
happening.
And I think Gaspe is definitely the pinnacle so far for me. Um, just the riding and kind of that trip and the group of guys and hooking up with Ledger, and there was so many positives about that week of riding and being gone and just exploring and touring around that area. I mean, again, I've seen pictures of it forever, and we didn't even do it all, which is the other cool thing. So this year we'll go back. I'm probably going to be there twice this year, and we'll learn more of the area and explore, and hopefully there'll be even more snow this year and ride through the mountains. I mean, it's epic views like I've never seen in my life. So
Yeah, just like living vicariously through you and messaging you every day, Mike, I need some pictures. Let's make a post. We the pictures you posted or that I saw were incredible. And some of those views there, everyone like we've known for years and we've spoken to other guys about how cool it is to ride in Gaspe in terms of the scenery and just the different kind of trails that you get into, whether it's in the mountains or it's on the coast and stuff like that. So yeah, I can't wait.
yeah, that's definitely you're gonna love it, and I'm sure we're gonna check it out again and go through some of the really cool towns that we explored and some really great food, the amenities. We always talk about Quebec, how much we love it, and how good the hospitality is there. It's just a really fantastic place to go,
Yep.
and so yeah, I'm looking forward to the two of us being able to hit that this year. So that should be great.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited. Speaking of this season, besides Gaspe, what are you most excited about for the coming winter?
Well, I think for us, I mean, it's a lot of things. There's two things that are really top of mind for me right now. One, obviously, is going to be new sleds. New sleds are always exciting. We have a lot of fun with, some of the video work and stuff that we do with our dealer team, Vincent Motorsports. Lots of stuff happening with us with new sleds this year, so I think that's going to be exciting. At the same time, for me too, I think that I'm just excited with Sledaddicz and how much we've grown in the business and all the stuff that we're doing. I think that's super exciting. And I would say, the third thing, and I really do enjoy it. It's kind of like that season kickoff, right? Which is getting up to Cochrane, seeing kind of all of our friends up there and helping the Polar Bear Riders Club get trails open, and hopefully this year things will go a lot better than planned last year,
Yeah.
and we'll actually have snow and we can do maybe some grooming when we're up there too. So those are for me, those are probably my top three things I'm looking forward to. How about you?
Honestly, like we're very similar in that regard. For me, like Cochrane at the beginning of middle of December to help get the trails open is just a great kickoff for us. And yeah, spending time with our buddies up there and getting some time grooming and staking and just helping out. Um, Something I look forward to every year. We were robbed of that opportunity last year in December,
Yeah.
but my hope is that it's back this year. On top of that, of course, I'm looking forward to new sleds. Um, yeah, no, I can't. Let's hope they come in soon because
I know
I'm
you.
down the days.
So I don't know if you're going to be around to receive your new sled, but we've got a beautiful new sled coming for you. So I'm going to be pretty excited once we get some calls from TVM, hopefully within the next couple weeks, maybe month or so, and we start hearing what's coming in, and start to get into build mode for those sleds. And at the same time too, working with Chris Ledger, that's another one that's been great for us, right? He's been an awesome supporter for us, huge help. he's basically our mechanic that keeps us rolling, kept me rolling last year when I ran into some issues. So he's been great to deal with. And once those sleds come in, obviously we're gonna have a ton of work to do. So we'll get them over to him for some help. So yeah, lots of stuff going. I think the one thing, and I'm sure it's on everybody's mind, and I've been reading a lot of threads and stuff online, is we need the snow this year. We
Yeah.
need the snow. I mean, let's not sugarcoat things. We're coming off of what was pretty crummy winter last year, in Ontario. So I'm hoping just that all signs are pointing to seeing a lot more snowfall this year and a lot more opportunities maybe to ride in Ontario. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think everyone freaks out when it comes to weather. And yes, global warming is a thing, whether or not people choose to believe it or not, it is happening. But
Mhm.
at the same time, global warming is a slow and progressive decline. What we saw last winter was not a progressive decline, it was an anomaly. When
Mhm.
you look back, the last time we had that little snowfall in a season was 1972. So if you ask yourself, was global warming worse in 1972 than it is in 2024? The answer is no. There
No.
are other things that cause weather patterns, primarily being La Nina or El Nino, and that affects our winters. So I think it's
Mhm.
very unlikely that what we saw last winter will happen this year. Um, Everything points to it being a better winter. How much snow we get, how much cold we get, no one can tell. They're meteorologists, the one field where they can be wrong 99% of the time and still have a career. So at
Yep.
the end of the day, as sledders, we just have to be optimistic and hope for the best. And at the end of the day, for us, we make it work. And whether or not certain areas are available to ride at certain parts of the year, we're as flexible as we can be. And I think in today's day and age, with what we've been seeing the past few years, depending on where you live, having a trailer to be able to go to different places to ride is becoming more and more of a necessity.
Absolutely. Now, we've been talking about this for quite some time. It's not anything new for us.
For sure.
Even for myself personally, I think I can count the number of times I've ridden south of North Bay on my hand in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And, we're always sort of been riding the north as far as like Northern Ontario. And then obviously the last 5 years, getting a little bit more acclimated with riding in Quebec has been a nice addition too, right?
And yeah,
But
I would say in regards to the riding Southern Ontario, it's not for us, sure, they're like you can see on average that Northern Ontario and Northern Quebec have longer seasons because they stay
Mhm.
colder for longer and they're colder earlier. But at the same time, a lot of the reason I think that drove us to the northern areas originally was the less traffic factor. A lot of
For
the
sure.
trails up north, there are less people that ride up there, so the trails are in a lot of the time in better shape. But at the same time, down south they have tons of great trails that we've ridden, whether we rode in Port Perry the other year or Barrie, which is close in my heart, especially with my work with Snow Voyagers Club, in different areas of Southern Ontario, like Bancroft, are all great areas to ride. At the end of the day, it just comes down to it's there's a narrower window during the season to ride there, and sometimes it works out and we can do it, and sometimes it doesn't.
Yep, for sure. And again, I just think you hit the nail on the head, and it's something we say every year. The diehard guys that want to sled are going to get in the truck and they're going to drive wherever. And we know a lot of those kind of guys.
Yep.
And everybody we know is, for the most part, trailering to ride where the snow is. And so, like I said, last year, even on a crappy snowfall year, I still put on a ton of K. So it's just a matter of just driving, right?
Yeah.
And getting to snow.
And that's why it's super important to keep our trailers maintained and have everything so we don't
Yes.
have any breakdowns. And last year we had no issues with both of our trailers. Granted, they are newer, but at the same time,
Yeah.
maintenance is important, right?
Actually, I was just talking, so I know you were taking yours over to Tom
Yeah.
to get him to check it out and get it. I was actually just talking to Ledger the other day. He's going to quickly look over my trailer just to make sure everything's good to go.
Yeah, my trailer's already gotten the green light. It's all good for the season ahead. It's just empty right now because there's no sleds in it. So hopefully the sleds come in soon and we can fill that up.
So
But
what's happening with sleds? Can we talk about this a little bit or no?
yeah, let's
We
talk
don't want
about
to give away too much.
okay, go ahead.
Well, I think we've made some amazing choices for this year. And I would say, I think when we were talking last year, we didn't sort of expect that we were going to go, down the path of, let's say, 4 sleds for the season, which is a little insane.
Mhm.
Um, but it's happening. And what can we throw out there in terms of these
So
these 4 machines?
So what I'll say is, as usual, we're gonna get machines that we think a lot of guys find interesting, and we want to have different machines just in order to engage a wide audience of sledders, right? And I think the big difference for us this year is we're spreading the love a little bit more.
Hmm.
The one thing I will say, without giving away the actual sleds we're getting, is we'll have 3 different brands of sleds this winter between those 4 sleds. So I
Yep,
think
which is
that's
pretty
pretty
cool.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think that definitely will open us up into some other areas as far as some of the different brands and rides that are out there. And again, yes, we've been riding Skidoo for a long time, but you and I have both, our families have had lots of experience on other sleds, which we've talked about in the past. We used to be diehard cat guys, had cats. I had one Polaris at one point, which didn't last long, but we did have one. And you guys also, obviously, Danny, your dad, his love for Polaris runs pretty runs pretty hard through his veins. So,
It does. And what I'll say is, as me and you both know, we have been called out for in the past for being quote unquote skidoo guys.
mhm,
And frankly, I don't agree with that. Yes, we ride skidoo and we like skidoo sleds, and the past number of years they've been our preference in terms of our daily riding sled.
for
But that
sure.
by no means we're unopen to trying other things and saying when something is better or not with a different brand. And I think we've showed that in the past with our Polaris videos,
Yep,
and me giving certain things to the Polaris that I think are better than the Skidoo. And I think there's a there's a reason we have multiple brands. It also helps drive competition in the industry and make everyone kind of improve their products and develop. And so at the end of the day, yeah, we work with a Skidoo dealer. We ride Skidoo sleds as our primary sleds, and we love our Skidoos. But at the same time, we want to try everything and get a feel for all of the sleds.
for sure. And last year, hey, you got an opportunity to try that cat, right? Jason's cat up
Yep.
in Long Lac, right?
I did, and if you guys who are watching the video, if you haven't seen that, definitely check that out on our YouTube channel. The 600 cat was super cool. I think just the way they designed that chassis is very much like backcountry-esque in terms of you're sitting a little bit higher up, more forward. I really liked how the sled performed, and I can't wait to see. Hopefully, we can get our hands. Maybe we ordered one. I don't know, but an 858 cat and see how that motor compares.
For sure. That thing's going to be a beast. And I just had Jason here. He was back here earlier this week, and we did a full review video that'll be coming out soon as well on that 600 RXC, which is a pretty sick looking sled. And I know he was a big fan of it. He really, really loves that sled. So yeah, that's exciting. So lots obviously going to be coming down the pipe with new sleds. And then what else?
I think the other thing for us is just continuing to grow our product business. I think that's something we started last year
Mhm.
and kind of pushed it much more. And this year, with the introduction of the power lift that we've added to our catalog and continuing to expand our knee pad lineups into different sleds. At the end of the day, let me know if you agree with this, but my impression is we're releasing products that we find fill a niche in the sport, and they're not just random products. They're stuff that we
Yeah.
use and we benefit from, and that's why we want to produce that for customers.
Yeah, that's 100% it. I think just the fact is we've got um stuff that we get excited about, and when we get excited about it and we use it, we want other people to experience that as well. And I think, initially when, we thought about sort of diving into the product world with Sled Addicts, I just sort of always had this thing in my head where I want it to be this premium this premium product business that brings like the best stuff to people who are into sledding. That's really what it is in a nutshell. And like you said, we don't want to just sort of carry anything. We're really specific and really niche about what it is that we carry and we sell to our customers. I also think we came off our first year, which sort of opened up our eyes into this other aspect of business and doing what we love and bringing that to other folks, which has also been, I think, a really cool experience for us.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the biggest thing that when I think of our products that we have is if we don't use it on our sleds, we're not selling it. And that
Exactly.
really, or if we don't use it in our life, we're not selling it. Because at the end of the day, if we find something useful and we can turn it into a product that helps the consumer in the same way it did to us, that's why we bring it to the market.
Yep, for sure. And so we've got some new stuff, and we definitely encourage. Firstly, we thank everybody. I think last year we had a lot of folks. I think we did around 1,000 orders last year, so we had a lot of folks that were purchasing stuff from us. So, firstly, thank you to all the folks that are out there watching our YouTube and supporting us and buying our products and stuff. I think that's pretty awesome. And definitely look out this year. We're gonna have lots of new exciting stuff coming as well.
Absolutely. With especially just to highlight with the knee pads, we've expanded now. We offer for all Articat Catalyst sleds, Sidewinders, Thundercats, and all of the Pro Cross
Expeditions.
Articats and Expedition skidoos we added this year. So
Yep.
they're all on our website. You can check it out at sledaddicz.com. We have our gas caps, our shim kits, our knee pads, and then a bunch of merch as well as the power lift. So lots of cool products to check out and kind of if that's something that interests you, definitely place your order and we'll get it shipped out as soon as possible. And if not, that's okay too. We appreciate any support you guys give us, whether that's watching our YouTube video, liking our social media, really anything helps as we continue to grow and work in the industry.
Awesome. Well, it was good to see you. We are getting ready for show season, so we've got a couple of shows coming up, and I'm excited to see you when you come in for those, and hopefully see some folks locally from around Ontario that will be going to the Toronto show. So that should be pretty cool.
Yeah, so we have the Toronto show at the end of October, the last weekend of October. I think it's the 25th to the 27th. So
Hmm.
those that are coming to the
Month
show,
away.
yep, we'll be in the same booth we were last year with the boys from Bergstrom right near the front at the International Center. And then we'll be again with them at the Sledorama show in Peterborough in November.
Awesome. Well, always good to see you. I hope you keep your head up in med school.
I'll try.
Continue working hard. I hope you survive.
Sounds good, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, man. We'll see you soon.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
See you guys.